Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
(2023) is a year of endless possibilities, great achievements, and a year all aspirations will be nurtured into fulfillment. It is the first Saturday in 2023, and we're delighted to have you join us on the very first episode of Spring Delight for the year. My name is Olayinka Ali.
It's always a pleasure to be back again, and we give God the glory. Here we are. It's never too late for us to say Happy New Year to each other, as this is the first edition of the program Spring Delights, coming to you from Western Spring Television. Tunde Dowu is my name. Welcoming you on behalf of the entire transmission team. We'd like to say thank you for being there with us last year. Let's do this again in 2023. It's a bumper package, as always, Yinka. We will surely serve you the very best. We've got two great guests in the house. An analyst is seated in the house as well, who will help us out from stories making the rounds from the dailies as well. And we have something from a life coach.
Life coach.
Will be talking to us as to how we should go about this come 2023. Things we need to know, how we should go about it in 2023. And with the spirit of security, it's very paramount. These days, you begin to find out that people can sneak into your house. They can fraud up your account, and you just keep seeing debit alerts and you're not there.
My head be banging like.
So much to serve you this morning. Let's kick things off very shortly. Our first analyst, the first guest who will be seated with us very shortly. We'll look at some of the happenings making the rounds from the papers. Right?
Yes.
But we'll take this break, and our first guest will be in. Please stay with us.
Affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Ever expounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happenings, to the sports news, to the bittersweet infos. Guided transmission. Even diffusion, vast and fast, detailed facts are fled. Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for.
All right, welcome back. It's still Spring Delight from Western Spring Television. Thank you so much for being here with us. Let's look at some of the major stories we have from the dailies that we've got with us. I have two of them, the Nation newspaper, and also I have Daily Post.
I have Punch.
The Punch newspaper. And we'd like to welcome in-house analyst. He is a barrister at law. He is a civil rights activist and also an analyst par excellence. I'd like to welcome Barrister Moses Obaditan to the program this morning. Thank you, Barrister, for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Let's look at some of the stories we have here. Do you have something ready?
Let me go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, on Punch, CBN bans over-the-counter withdrawal of new notes. The Central Bank of Nigeria has ordered deposit money banks not to pay customers making over-the-counter withdrawals of new Naira notes again. Instead, the Apex Bank directed the banks to load their automated teller machines with only new notes to ensure that the currency circulates across the nation ahead of the January 31, 2023 deadline, when the old notes will no longer be legal tender. Can that be possible?
It's possible. It's a matter of administrative dexterity. If they can't ensure that any money coming on the counter, they are withdrawing the old notes. So whoever intend to catch money, since we are trying to get people involved, used to the electronic processing. So it is better to fill the ATM, the POS with the new notes. If they do that, that will be possible. And then if some people are even asking that it should be extended, I think the best is to insist on that January 31. Those who have kept our money in their vaults will be forced to bring them back to the to the counter and the bank as a whole. Remember, there's now weekend banking. And with that one, there's no reason why the CBN should not be able to get its own target.
Barrister, let's look at this aspect of this over-the-counter withdrawals. CBN is telling us that, look, by January 31st, I guess, the withdrawal of old notes. But here we are. The new notes are not in circulation.
I've not even seen the new notes.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay.
What does this portend for those of us whereby we have not?
You remember the first word I used as administrative dexterity. In Nigeria, from the ministry to the private sector, the way we handle our administration process are not fair. They are not good enough. If the central bank is able to put everything in order, it will hasten the collection of the old note. And then it will also make it easier and possible faster for those who are withdrawing from POS as well as through the ATM machine. So that is why I felt it is possible. But it all depends on their determination and the effort they put in to ensure that this thing is done without more pressure on the people.
But do you think sorry, Inga, I know you want to ask something, but so do you think this is a means to curb the excesses of vote buying as the 2023 general election?
That was what I wanted to ask.
It comes in place.
Well, it is assumed.
Okay.
But as a political scientist, I have a background in political science.
Okay.
The politicians are heads of the administrator. How? If they are expecting the politicians to come to bank during and before the election, no. A good politician by now should have strategized and get Mr. Tunde do and said, look, I'm going to send you some money, as if I'm purchasing something. At the wee hour, Mr. John will come to you. He will collect it. And remember, in recent time, they do not go to polling unit with cash. They will have obtained your bank account and make sure they transfer. So the same thing. It's not going to be physically given to you, but you still collect the same money. So the best approach will have been for the DSS and other intelligence to be planted in the polling unit. Whoever is suspected receiving alert, they will ask, let me see your phone. And remember too, for you to see a phone, you also tampering with somebody's right. So that's why I said the politician always ahead of those people who want to get it.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. And let me take this story from Daily Post newspaper. 2023 polls. Obasanjo's endorsement of Peter will be ill-motivated. That's credited to a Muslim group. And that's the Muslim rights concern MORNIG has accused ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo of alleged hatred against Muslims. Does that have to do?
No, that man is still acidic in his opinion. In 2015, this same Obasanjo, endorsed
Atiku
Abubakar, and even recently they have even approached him. They went there. If you come to my hand and said, Baba, I want you to back me up, and I decide to back somebody up, does it make me against you? You simply have made a choice in life. Even when you go to market, if you want to buy a black, you can go for white. It's a matter of choice. Then remember too that as we are talking now, people are still endorsing one or two of the people, either they are Muslim or Christian.
Absolutely.
So we should not see religion. What do I think we should remember was that Obasanjo has been a factor in Nigerian's project. One, during the Civil War, was the man whom they handed over to when the Biafra was surrendered. Secondly, he has tried as much as possible than any other political leader in Nigeria without looking at his own tribe. He has sacrificed Yoruba for other groups. If you look when he was there, most of his PASA are from the East. Okonjo Iweala and many other of them, even including the present president of Anambra. So he has been a pan-Nigerian. And what he's trying to do was to say, how do we heal the wounds of the Civil War? Because since the Civil War to today, no Igbo man has been in that charge. So the man may simply trying to do his own, but it doesn't mean everybody must follow him. So you can call him any name, but you cannot call him a tribalist or a nepotist individual.
Looking at Obasanjo from my own perspective, I don't see him as a tribalist.
No, he is. Nobody can accuse him of
but looking at what Isiaq Akintola is saying here, he said the group urged Obasanjo to emulate General Yakubu Gowon, retired, and General Abdulsalam Abubakar, retired, in preaching peace instead of dividing the country.
He has not divided the country. Is it by this choice? No, he has not divided the country. Rather, he has made a choice. And remember, he's not the only one who has made a choice. Ayo Adebayo has made a Edwin Clark has made a choice, and many other people. And on a daily basis, even some of people who are backing Bola Tinubu or backing Atiku, doesn't mean they are dividing the country. I think whenever any religious group are coming, you can even see Kant wanted to make a mistake. I think they retrieved their step and say that vote for whoever you desire. So the fact that the man has made a choice, that Igbo man, assuming he made a choice of Bola Tinubu, what would they have called him? They say he's a tribalist. He's going after his own tribe. So I don't think the man is dividing the country. Rather, he's trying to see. And as we are talking now, there's problem in the East. There's the likelihood that the election there may not be free and fair. Why? Because the people felt they have not been given equal treatment. If you look at the security committee or the team of the present president, no Igbo man is there. The last person who should have been Inspector General of Police was an Igbo man in recent time. The man was, they left him and jumped to the number 5, which is currently the Inspector General of Police. And the man said, look, these people who are agitating in the East, call them IPOB or call them any name, is because they felt they were aggrieved. And then what do we do as a statement to see how do we bring them back? But if you now make a choice, if Fulani man is going and if Fulani man is contesting, which you have a right under the Constitution, because there is nobody who limits that you cannot contest. So what we're going to do, as somebody who understands the terrain of political process in Nigeria, is to see how do we bring people so that they will not feel alienated and eventually making the country to be combustible. Assuming that Atiku eventually become president, how will you feel? Especially if you are from the East. What would be the opinion? Say, they didn't want us after all. And then the issue of insecurity there will be on the increase. So these are the things people ought to weigh before calling the man name. Obasanjo is not a saint. Neither the MORNIG man is a saint. So what we have in Nigeria is that we have people who see things from different prisons. If you can able see it and you're able, what matter most is how do we bring the country together? Because we're at the peak of explosion.
Wow. It should not explode.
Yeah, let's go to education. Nance writes Buhari begs for intervention. The National Association of Nigerian Students has expressed strong opposition to the alleged plans by federal universities in the country to increase by 200% their tuitions and various other charges from this year.
Well, I think Nans are gradually getting matured. In time past, they will not think about it. They will run after the politician. And then look, almost a year. Because even let's say a year, the universities don't have been shut down. And who should be touched most is the president. Because by the time he's going the next 5 months, he will give account of what he has done in education. So, and if education is neglected, and the youth are even make restive during the election, who will they use? The same youth will be in trouble. And the country too will not be able to stable. Like the Yoruba say, so if they are now appealing to the president and say, Mr. President, we have been at home. Even in those days, there were called scholarship and some other allowances that can be made available to students. These things are no more there. So if they are appealing to him and is able to see to the grievances of the ASU, I think it's a beautiful thing. So that's why I felt ASU is doing the right thing. The students, the NANS are doing the right thing. And we appeal to the president to be the father of the nation and see the youth, because he said there is hope for the youth. And if he has even made some provision for them to contest. But these people are in the school are now saying, remember us before the hour is closed.
Let's look at Yoruba Nation spokesman quits, demands accountability from Akintoye. The camp of Yoruba Nation agitators, Ilanomo Odua Worldwide, has been thrown into disarray as the Communications Secretary Maxwell Adeleye yesterday announced his resignation from his position and equally renounced his membership of the group. Adeleye is also demanding accountability from the former leader of the group, Professor Banji Akintoye, whom he asked to hand off the organization for proper auditing of his stewardship. He made his resignation public on Friday via a press statement. Earlier in December of 2022, Akintoye resigned and handed the leadership mantle to his former deputy secretary, Professor Wale Adeniran. But Adeleye, in a statement yesterday, Friday, said he had stepped down as Akintoye's communications manager since August of 2022 and asked the former Yoruba Nation leader to allow a proper audit of his tenure. Barrister, what is going on with the Yoruba Nation agitator? There seems to be a divide amongst them. What does this portend for the Yoruba Nation itself?
Well, I won't say for the Yoruba Nation, I think for the Yoruba agitators.
Agitators, okay.
So in every polity, especially in a well-organized society, you can't just hand over and you can't just quit. You must give proper account of your stewardship. And one of those way of giving accounts to say, okay, so this is the amount I made. This is the one I'm living. This is how we are spending this money. You can't just quit. And the same thing we find in Osun recently. When the new government and the outgoing government was discussing the issue of handing over. So if it is not properly done at that state level, those who are trying to change the narrative and say, look, if we have Oduduwa Republic, we can do better. They should show an example. So what Adeleye is simply saying is in order, let Baba come back, give account, proper account, what they have done and how they've done it. And then you are asking the question, what does it portend? It portends that the house that use people to build will not be able to stand because it is not all the Yoruba that wants to quit the country. Only a few people who felt agree. Unfortunately, Professor what was the name of that Baba now? I didn't know. No, the man who has just Akintoye. Yes, he has never been a man who sits within us. He has been operating in foreign land, and if he cause problem, his children are not likely to feel the heat. Since Sunday Igboho has been sent out of, how many of them have made effort appealing to president to bring your son back, like in the biblical David? When will you bring your Jonathan back? So we are appealing to the Yoruba. Let them keep it cool. If they want Oduduwa Republic, if God so will, it's going to happen. But now, from the look of things, if anybody tried, it's like open sacrifice. When I mean open sacrifice, giving yourself for the military to finish you. But what we should look at, what are those things that need to be adjusted What are those things that need to be done so that Nigeria can move forward? And I believe if they, in their own little micro Yoruba club, they cannot succeed and they are now scattering. It shows that even if we give them the Republic of Oduduwa, they are going to bring us to trouble. So what the summary of is that let them be patient. Time will tell if Nigeria will continue or Oduduwa Republic will eventually emerge. Remember, the Southern Sudan and the Northern Sudan were at each other's throat for 50 years.
Yes.
Eventually, they are now divided. Look at India and Pakistan.
Yes.
You have history of nations that have Russia. They were together for 70 years. But at the end of it, in 1985, they split it into 15 countries. Ukraine and Russia are still at loggerhead today. So let's take it easy. Time will actually define where Yoruba will appropriately be located.
Yeah, ahead of the general election, Lagos has explained why many have not collected their PVC. The Lagos State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Mr. Olusegun Agbaje, has explained the reason behind the high number of uncollected permanent voters card in the state. Agbaje disclosed that this was because many prospective voters might have migrated from the state for different reasons, while others might have died. Do you think the PVC, a lot of, how should I even put this now?
No, naturally, while we were discussing this earlier, the spirit at which Nigerians will keep shouting that these leaders are bad, they are terrible. Look at the state at which PVCs are lying fallow at INEC offices.
Then I think, in my own opinion, I think it should be sent through courier services to people.
Or are there better ways? It's a digital world today.
Yes.
What could be done?
First, let's identify why are so many PVCs.
He said some people have migrated.
Yes, there's no doubt, because some will have school in University of Lagos, Apoka, this, that, and time, and some will have japa, and some will have died. So there could be many factors, and some will have felt discouraged, and some even alleged that once you get to the PVC and said you are not from, your name doesn't sound from Southwest, that you find it difficult. Those are many factors. But the problem is that there's a need for us to improve on the way we do things. You know, I remember I've already been talking on the issue of administration. Institutional functionality. Because in other polity, you don't need to have this thing so large. As soon as you are registering, you just get it in your phone.
Thank you.
You now go down and print it out. So instead of making it coming to collection center, I now remember just transferring my own from Lagos to this place. It took me hell.
I've not even collected mine from Lagos. I can't.
So you understand? So, this bottleneck, we ought to just, and then not only that, those people who are in charge, they can do it in a very simple, using alphabetical order. If you are Mr. A, you line here. But even either you are A to B, it's only one officer they're going to. So people just feel I don't have the time, and
they don't have adequate facilities. You see people lying under the.
So that's why I said they don't even need to do such a thing. They can just say, okay, if this is your name, go to this local government. As soon as you're there, just send your email. When they send it to you, you not print the thing out and become your card. So, and then alternatively, when you look at the people in Oshogo, if you are above 18, let's assume 90% have ATM. In developed country, your ATM also serves as your voting card. They call it a multi-faceted card services. So you can use it for cash, you can use it for election. Why don't Nigeria begin to think along that line? So that once you have ATM, it's not left for you. And then too, even the days of election, it's not a must. I must be at the polling unit. So I can be in my office. Once I have my card, I just print it out. Or I throw it with my computer, send it into your website and show, this one has voted. So these are areas we need to come up and leave those colonial mentality and see how we can.
I sincerely hope we get there one day.
We must, but we are. It's just like in Deuteronomy chapter 1. God was speaking to Moses. Only tell the children of Israel, they've stayed too long by this side of this river. So Nigeria has stayed too long on this old system. So we need to move into digital age. And once we do that, it will be easier for us to overcome some of these shortcomings.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you, Barrister Moses Obaditon, at this moment in time for taking time out to be with us on Spring Delight for today.
It's a delight to being around with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for even making me to be here for the first time and making this as long as you coming here for the first week.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go straight into telling you major happenings that's happening around the world and in Nigeria on the 7th of December, years ago. Stay with us. It's still Spring Delight.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Eva is pounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happenings, to the sports news, to the bittersweet infos. Guided transmission, even diffusion, vast and fast. Detailed facts are fled. Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
And your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
on this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
A life coach helps a person to identify strengths, develop them, and identify personal and professional goals. Their role is to assist the coachee throughout the change process. On the show this morning, a certified life coach will take us through all the stages as enumerated. Welcome to the show, Mr. Anthony Tai Akisumbo.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to have you. Good morning and compliment of the season. Good morning. Right, you look like a senator, but we're not knowing that you are one life coach. Now, let's. What's the role of a life coach? I know we'll definitely look at it from the educational sector into business relationships and stuff. But let's take it from the perspective of the duties of a life coach. Who is a life coach?
It's okay. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here this morning.
It's our pleasure.
And, life coach Let me start by the way of definition, my understanding of a life coach from experience so far. I think a life coach is someone who is assisting a person or a group of people to attain their desired goal in life or their desired goals in life, as case may be. So a life coach primarily is shadowed with the responsibility of modeling, counseling, helping the client or a group of people to bring out the best in them and providing them different options and techniques on how to go about life to achieve their desired goal. So that's who a life coach
How
is.
does coaching works?
Okay, coaching, as I rightly defined just now, you can say that is coaching primarily is to provide methodologies, to assist, to provide structures, alternatives, best ways to achieve a particular desired goal. So coaching is a process through which a coach provides to the client or a group of people the best options or many structures, better options on how to achieve their desired goal in life. So the primary aim of a coach is to assist a client to get their goal, their life goals achieved in life. So
now let's begin to look at the job of it's a new year.
Okay.
And everybody wants to begin something in one way, step up in one way, and looking at children, teachers going back to school in another 48 hours. Let's take it. Let me take it first from the education sector.
Okay.
Kids are going back to school, and there are things that what should a right-thinking teacher do into the life of a child who has been away from school for a while and coming back? How can I propel this child to do much more better in this new term?
So if I have to relate your question now with the role of a life coach in the education sector,
Absolutely,
I think that's what you are trying to ask.
Absolutely, please.
Basically, a life coach is, as I rightly defined, is somebody that is very much important in our day-to-day life. And as the students, the teachers are preparing to go back to school now, it's the duty of a life coach now, if he's been employed or if he's been called upon, to assist the teachers to prepare very well for the academic calendar, to prepare very well for the term. Such a life coach will open their eyes to different methodologies to adopt in teaching the students. Such a life coach will also talk to them about their worries, will talk to them about their goals, because primarily the duty of a teacher is to bring out the best from the students, is to bring the student from where they are to where they ought to be at a particular session or at a particular term. So it will be a duty of the life coach to talk to the teacher, to prepare them psychologically, and of course to prepare them to be able to be, you know, as a teacher you have to be enthusiastic.
Yes.
If you are not enthusiastic, you can't be able to teach the student, to impart to the student. Thank you very much. So you have to be enthusiastic, and of course you have to be a leader and a model to the student. So a life coach will help teachers to be conscious of those facts, and of course if a life coach is being employed in a school, he or she will also assist the students to have the better disposition that this person is here to teach, to impart, to help you to from where you are now to where you ought to be. And of course, I think such a service will be highly appreciated.
Yeah. Can you take us through the different types of coaching we have?
Okay, we have different type of coaching. Of course, we also have different styles of life. So also we have different type of coaching, because coaching primarily is something that is necessary, as I said earlier, in our day-to-day life. So we have career coach. Those are the people you will find in the corporate organization, the ones you just said now in the school. Career coach will help you to make good and better decisions when it comes to your career objectives. career advancement. You understand? Why we also have well-being coach, we have personal coach. Personal coach are people that you can approach, talk to about your personal issues. And coaches are very much needed, especially when you are making a shift from a particular thing to another. For instance, as we cross to this particular year now,
yes,
many people have graduated from adolescence to adulthood. You need a coach. So a coach is always vital at a particular period in life when you want to make either decision or movement. That's what I call it. So for instance, if you are changing relationship, you need a coach. That's why we have relationship coach. When you want to change a school, you need a coach. When you want to change your career, you need a coach. Even we have finance coach that they talk to you, they will talk to you about the way you should manage your finances. So we have coaches across all the facets of life.
In life, with the speed at which the economy is today, one seems to be a little bit perturbed looking at, today gas is so expensive, getting to buy a bag of rice is, one can just be perturbed and disturbed as to how to go about it. As a coach, a mentor, to so many people in life, what are the right words that one can put in the hearts of people like us who are feeling a little bit dejected?
It's okay. I like your question, but let me just quickly correct something. A coach must not necessarily be a mentor. There is difference between being a coach and a mentor. Because a mentor can provide you the necessary tools you need to achieve your goal. A coach does not necessarily need to do that. A coach opens your mind.
Horizon.
It widens your horizon to see different options to achieve a particular goal in life. You understand? But a mentor is different. A mentor can even house you. A mentor can provide you necessary things. A coach may go to that level, but I'm just trying to say there is difference between a coach and a mentor.
Thank you.
And of course, you know what is happening in the society, you are subjected to it as much as I'm subjected to it. So when I come to you or if you come to me to talk to you about what is happening now, basically because the coach may not necessarily or may not be able to influence the government decision, the primary aim is to assist you to adjust your lifestyle to the situation on ground. You understand? So as a life coach, my primary assignment would be to probably discuss with you on how to reduce, if it's how to cope with your finances, how to reduce your expenses, or how to manage your lifestyle so that at least for the time being, you can survive the so-called harsh economy.
Yeah, there should be a difference between coaching and counseling.
Okay, you're right.
Can you?
You're right. Okay, a coach, as I said, deals primarily with now and future. A coach is somebody that comes to you to talk to you about better and best decision to make now and for your future goal. But a counselor is different. A counselor will go to your past. A counselor will go to your experiences. A counselor will want to hear what you've experienced in the past. We want to hear how you've taken some decisions in the past, the decisions you've taken, the result. Those are the experiences that the counselor will use to counsel you and to provide solution to whatever challenges you may be facing at that particular point in time. Whereas a life coach, primarily, his duty is to help you to be better in the future and to tackle whatever that is happening to you at the moment to be better. So that's the difference. That's the major difference between a counselor and a coach.
Will you advise anybody to always see a coach on regular basis, or how often will that be?
I like your question again. You know, I don't know why here, probably because of our economy and because of most of us, we neglect the role of a coach. And that's why the number of coaches in Nigeria today, even in Osun State, is very, very low. Because many people do not see the need to approach them. Whereas, as I said earlier, at every point that you want to make a decision, you want to change from plan A to plan B, you want to change from a particular career to another career, a coach is needed. A life coach is needed. At a particular time that even if you are relocating from a particular geographical area to another, from a state to another state, a coach is needed. You need to talk to a coach, somebody that is grounded, somebody that knows more about, and what exactly will he do? He's not going to tell you that you must necessarily adopt these particular techniques, but he will open your brain, it will open your horizon, it will help you broaden your horizon to see different means of achieving a particular goal. That's what a coach does. So in every area of your life, in every time you want to take a step, you want to go out of a relationship, you want to go into a relationship, you want to even change your bank, a coach is needed.
Wow.
A coach is needed. That's why a coach is somebody that must have been tested or that must have been seen to possess principles of success. So if you do not possess principles of success, you do not want to be called a coach.
Yes.
So because you have the principle of success and you are believed to, not necessarily because you've experienced them, but because you know them. So you need to be approached.
Do coaches have qualifications? Like, do they need to go to school to get trained to be a coach, or is it life experiences, or because you're talented, you can talk, you can give advice?
It's okay. The question is also interesting. And, of course, before you do anything professional in our world today, it is expected that you are certified. It is expected that you have some certificates or some qualification. However, to be a coach with the standard that ICF has given, primarily they talk about the age more than the certificate. And it is because of the assumption that if you are 34, for instance, in the global world, before you can be a life coach, you must have attained age of 34 upward. But in Nigeria, I think they are restricting it to 35 upward now. So you don't necessarily need a certificate. But before you can function well, and it depends on the area you are looking at. If you just want to be a personal coach, you may say you don't need a certificate. But if you want to be a career coach, if you want to be a coach that will interact with different organizations and you need to train their staff, definitely you need a qualification. And that is why in Nigeria today, the ELCAM is talking about, you come around, let us certify you. There is a particular program, a course that you need to pass through, and they give you a certificate. However, if you are a reader and you are a good student, there are most of those things that they are going to teach you over there, you can as well learn them. So that when you go there, they teach you a period of that training will now be a little bit reduced. But certificate is necessary, but it is not what's it called? A yardstick to be a life coach.
Okay.
With your experience in this, how would you say you've impacted into the lives of people like us?
Okay, so far, I think I've been privileged to at least mingle or train or counsel. I don't want to use the word counsel. Coach people in different sectors, majorly in hospitality. Because apart from life coach, I'm also into events. So because of that, I've seen a lot of things. When they call me for such services and I mingle with them, of course, I've been able to at least impart meaningfully into them. Through that, many of them have also, in a way, through the interaction, they changed their career. They discover that they are better off in this particular role than the other role. You understand? So they switch roles. When I go to Osun, at least I've been able to anchor like 3 or 4 hotels here. I've provided services to them. So,
okay, all right.
Do you work with a specific gender? Like, is it only female you coach, or you coach male children?
Fine, handsome man. I don't find.
You can say that again. Anyway, as a coach, I think I'm open to everyone. I'm open to everyone. I'm open to everybody. However, I deal primarily or I deal majorly with people that aspire to be service experts.
Okay.
People that aspire to be service experts. And I use the word service experts because most of the things that they provide in those corporate organizations are services.
Okay.
So if you desire to be service experts, ranging from customer service and all that, fine. I'm interested in that. If you come to me, we talk and I provide services to them. However, majorly because services, the gender that provides services more, they are your gender. So you can say, and men generally, from my experience, we tend to keep things to ourselves more. Men, but women, they come out, they come to you, they want to hear from you, they want you to...
You're generalizing this thing. It is not all women.
All women. It's okay. I said men, most of them. It's okay. Most of them, thank you. Most of them, they come to you, I want you to guide me on this, what should I do? And so from there, you are able to impart, to make impact in their lives.
Let's talk about relationship. Like, when people are at the verge of divorce or going through relationship issues, in movies, I've not seen someone that, that has visited a coach. I, for one, haven't visited a coach.
Okay.
In movies, you go to a coach, they talk to both of them, they counsel both of them, and you discover the marriage, is going to be intact. Does it really work? I mean, real life, does that work?
It does very well. It works. As I said, for instance, for a married couple to come out to say, I want to see a life coach, in a way, it presupposes that they do not actually want to go separate.
Yeah.
You understand? Those that want to do away with their marriages, they don't come to you. They may not even ask you for anything. So if you have to meet them, you meet them separately. You understand? But when a couple come around and they tell you that, yes, we want you to talk to us about this, you know that they have this intention, this underneath intention, not to go their separate ways. So from there, you can start and you'll be able to provide solution to people like that. You'll be able to help them to see those qualities that they need to cherish more in each other and things that they need to improve upon. Do you understand?
Yes.
But personally, relationship, to me, somehow complex. And when I approach it, I do that with every, every seriousness, and I'm always careful. Because the issue of relationship deals with emotion too much. You've been a life coach yourself. Let me just throw this at you on a lighter note. Have you been coached, even in the aspect of being coaching? Yeah, you're right. And to answer your question, yes.
Great.
And I still have people that are coaching me up to today.
Goodness.
I still have, apart from mentors, apart from those I desire to, counselor, they are different from mentor. But of course, you can have those three things in one person. The coach can as well be. So I have people that still talk to me. I have coaches around that I approach for issues.
So for some of us, me and Tunde, that have not visited your coach and aspire to visit, one anytime soon. How much should we budget? Like, how do you guys charge?
In Nigeria, as I said earlier, the services is not something that is that, can I say, treasure or value. But for the few people that knows about it, they know how to commend you. Do you get? So there is no fixed amount. There is no fixed amount to the services, because even in our local settings, many people will say, oh, it's better I go to so person, one elderly person in their family, Do you understand? But coaching as a profession, when they come to you, you don't necessarily need to charge them. So there is no fixed amount. But when you're able to provide solution to what the person desires, of course, I have been handsomely rewarded in the past. And I was surprised.
Whoa.
So
right,
it's profitable.
All right. Before we allow you go now, what message are you going to pass across to those kids as they go back to school on Monday?
And their teachers too.
And their teachers.
Okay, let me start by saying that, their primary aim of being students is to learn. And the primary aim of being a teacher is to impart. A teacher is someone that helps students from the particular position they have today to the position that they ought to be at the end of the term. So as a teacher, they should be happy with what they do. They should be enthusiastic. They should listen. They should be attentive. They should be more of a model to the students than a leader or than somebody that uses cane all the time. Do you understand? So if you present yourself as you are happy with what you do, and the student can see that, from there they come to you often and often, and from that you are able to discover more about them, and you're able to impart what you are trying to teach them effortlessly, and you'll be able to take them from where they are to where they ought to be. And on the part of the student too, of course, their primary aim is to go and learn. And they have to have a very good disposition.
Good.
So one of the things that can help them to have good disposition is the role of the parent at home. Three of them, they are intertwined now. Is the role of the parent at home. When you are putting your child forward to go to the school, you have to provide for them. You have to guide them. And when they come back from school, you also have to monitor what the teacher has taught them. So you don't just leave it like that. So those three factors, they have to work hand in hand. When the teacher teaches in school, the students receive the teaching. On getting home, the parents should not just abandon them. The parents should, after providing, you've given them the books, you've paid their school fees, don't just go to sleep. You still need to guide and monitor their assignment. Monitor what they've written. If their lettering is not good enough, you assist them to improve. Those are my little advice that I have for them today as they go back to school.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank you most sincerely, Mr. Anthony Tai Akinsumbo, a life coach who has been able to motivate us this morning, and most especially to the kids and teachers who are going back to school on Monday. Hopefully we'll have that cause to have you on set some other time.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Spring Delight is still the program you are watching right here on the Western Spring Television. And when we come back after this very short break, we will be looking at security. What are the things we need to put in place when it comes to security? A security expert is in the house who will take us on this ride. Please stay with us.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Ever expounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happenings, to the sports news, to the bittersweet infos. Guided transmission, even diffusion, vast and fast, detailed facts are fled. Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is. except misheard. This is the news as it is.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
And your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
on this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
According to the words of Michael Forbes, one who never asks questions either knows everything or nothing. Watch me as I ask the questions you think no one wants to answer. Even questions it appears no one has got the guts.
All right, welcome back. It's still Spring Delight on Western Spring Television, and I want to thank you for being there. I hope we are making your Saturday morning a very pleasurable one. You can trust us for that. We are going to be talking about security, and it's so very paramount because these days, with the spate of insecurity in and around our country, in and around the society, the community where Yinka stays, she needs beefing up of her security. On a lighter note. All right, we need to know how to go about safeguarding things that we've got, and why should we safeguard them? Why should we keep them in check? How can we do this? What are the measures we need to know? And today we have the pleasure of having a security expert who has been there for not just today. He's been there for a very good number of years. It's a pleasure to have Mr. Akin Adeyi join us in the studio this morning. He'll say good morning to you and thank you for joining us, sir.
Good morning and compliment of the season.
Same to you, sir.
It's nice to be with you.
Go ahead, Yinka.
Mr. Adeyi, what is the difference between a security officer and a security guard?
Yeah, people often ask that question. I would say security generally, it is the total sum of what you put together to frustrate or deter unauthorized access to a particular place, to protect lives and property, and all what have you. But now we come around to say some are security officers, some are security guards. The two names from the this thing can even explain itself. When we say you are a guard, mostly security guards are employee of security company.
Okay.
Private security company will employ individual, train them into becoming security guards. They have lesser power. Their power of arrest is not more than that of a citizen, the ordinary citizen. Whereas the security officer have enormous power by his training, by the power conferred on him, by the constitution of the country. He has more powers and is working for the government. So the difference is so clear between the security guards and security company. Most times when security guards, when they make arrests, they hand over to the security officer. They don't have power of prosecution. So, and apart the uniform and identity card, the separation between them and the civilian is not that enormous. The gulf is not wide. So, but they have undergone certain trainings that make them a little bit different. And their work has to do more with the power of observations that have been built in them. When you keep them to man a place, the training comes to bear in the course of manning that place. Take quick note of everything, quick observation and everything, and to frustrate or deter unnecessary or unauthorized access to a particular place. But they are just what we said they are, security guard.
So let's drive this upward a little bit here. We know the spate of insecurity that is ravaging our dear nation at this point in time, which that has to be put in full concentration right now. For someone entering a new year like this, and I'm laying a foundation for a new building, a new office structure, what are the measures that is needed to be put in place security-wise? Because I've seen videos of police parading armed robbery suspects, whereby they will say, now, show us how you were able to enter into this house even through the burglary proof. What measures? How should we do this? If you're putting up a structure, a building, a complex, what are the security ways that should be put in place, sir?
Thank you very much. Talking of putting a structure in place, I think everybody that is involved in construction, they are themselves security officers, but many people don't know. You seek advice of those people. You might know more than them in some cases, but at times you seek their advice and then you inject your own idea of what you understand by security. That's why security is a very wide range of subjects. It encompasses all other human endeavor. Security, to say someone is a security expert, he will be vast in almost all subjects. He might not be expert in all subjects, but he should be able to speak to those subjects. So now, in a construction, the injection of security sense comes to be right from the start, right from foundation level. Because security and safety goes together. So if you put a wrong foundation in place and the building collapses, it is because something has been wrong right from foundation stages. So the people that will even do the construction for you, they form part of what you should try to check their background check of those that are involved in the construction of your building, so that they don't later turn to be hostile agent against you in future. They will not turn around to be the people that will give the map of your house or information about the construction to some people that will come and attack you in future. That if you enter through so. That is why it is important when you see somebody in your area taking photographs of your building and telling you that it's just because of the beauty of this building that I'm taking. He doesn't have the right to do so, except and if you have granted him or her the permission to do so. And then at the stage of construction, if those that you employed are taking photographs, it shouldn't be. And then the building plan should be a secret document. So it should be a confidential document. Your building plan. It should be a confidential document. We have seen situations whereby those that were involved in construction dug an underground DC leading into another house in the neighborhood. So, and it's very essential that you are present most of the time at your construction site. Go there and inspect, whether during the time they are working or after they might have closed for work. Then, at the completion, never allow it that they will leave some tools behind. Maybe carelessly, you think it was carelessly though, but it is those things that they will use when they come back to come and attack the house. Like somebody pretending that they forgot their ladder or hammer or anything like that. So you don't give those chances, because it is that tool that will form their weapon of attack when they come back. So construction, security and safety is endless. You just have to be very vigilant when you are doing your construction. And sometimes now, the workers now, because even your engineer, you just pick them from the roadside. They call them mummy or something like that. You just pick some of them, this helper, or they call them laborer, they call them helper. They might leave a certain loophole carelessly because they know they are coming back to use it. Like, let me give you an example of somebody that has thrown a mattress behind a fence as if the mattress was useless. It was even the owner that said they should go and dispose it, but he threw the mattress behind the fence. And it was that mattress they later used in the night to put on the barbed wire.
Wow.
You understand?
Be able to scale
the fence into the house. So you can see that now. A mattress that you thought was useless, and you ask somebody to go and throw it away. That is why in security, we prefer burning. That is, if you want to dispose of a document or anything, we prefer that you burn it. And when you are burning it, don't send it through somebody to go and do for you. Supervise the burning yourself.
Wow.
So most things that you think are useless, they are not useless. And then all these bedroom slippers, sometimes that you think you just throw around in the house and anything, it will form what they will use against you later, because it doesn't make noise when it's going on the floor. So somebody will have to wear it to make a quiet access into a place. And then when you see somebody going out, not everybody, but when somebody is going out at odd hours and that person is wearing trainers, all these trainers like this one that I'm wearing now, and it's maybe that person is your neighbor or anything, and he goes out like that, come back in the morning, all the time. Just keep your eyes on that person. So all these little things that we don't
absolutely.
Into consideration. And then in providing security for our houses, sometimes we do some things that later end up to be our undoing. Like in Nigeria especially, it has become fashionable now that you will see people cage themselves with metals in the name of burglary proof. At times it is that thing that will even form a danger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you put too much of these things, and then when there is a fire outbreak, or you have a need to run out of the house or anything like that, you see that it could be very difficult. We have got some people that have got roasted in the house because of the burglary proof, because they cannot go out. So all this thing requires for detail and expertise input when you are doing your construction. And then you don't need, though the normal perimeter fence should be 7 feet high, but you don't need these very high fences that people are doing now. Because even if you are under attack, it is your fence that you think was protecting you that will not make assistance come from you from anywhere, because nobody will know that anything is going on inside. So it's like that. It's interwoven. Too much of everything they say is bad.
Absolutely bad.
In putting security in place, you still have to be conscious of the fact that if this thing, perhaps this thing work against me in the future, this thing that I am doing. We know dogs to be security animal, but some dogs will be very wild that they will even attack the owner at times, or the family of the owner. So it's a double-edged sword.
Wow.
That can cut either ways in security. In fact, some people will go for a weapon, and if you are not properly trained in the handling of that weapon, it is that same weapon now that will end up killing the person. You see, they say guns don't kill. People do. So when you are not familiar, when you are not versed in the knowledge of handling of weapon, the weapon later form the death of that person, sometimes, or injury. So all these are very, very important. And then there are certain things that you can do, because everybody believes it is only when you have guns that you can protect yourself, and gun, except you are licensed to carry one, and nobody will even license you to carry gun for self-defense. You can license it with the police for games, but it depends on your discretion how to use it to defend yourself in times of attack. So, but some people, they don't know that. Or the ordinary catapult, you are supposed to have it in the house.
Oh, catapult.
Yeah, there's nothing bad in you keeping a cutlass beside your bed. There's nothing bad in you keeping a sword beside your bed. Even just ordinary bottle, sometimes it could be the thing that will save you in the time of attack. But our people, you see, we are so religious in this country. They will tell you the blood of Jesus will do it for them. Even Jesus that they're talking, people didn't know that Jesus was a security person par excellence. Yeah, he was so security conscious. You know, it wouldn't have been very difficult for them to identify Jesus that they had to go and pay so much to Judas to tell them who is your boss. That is security. Ability to disappear and appear in another person. You see, that means there was no separation in identity between Jesus and his disciples. And that is security. But if you enter into some churches today, you don't need anybody to tell you that this is the pastor or the head. Because his ordinary shoes will be worth the whole money that the church will need to complete their construction. So, and if you look at it from religious angle too, you see Peter in the Bible told us, and Peter drew out his sword. He didn't say Peter went to borrow sword or went to look for sword. So Peter was more or less the CSO to Jesus Christ. But when we tell our people that are Christians that do certain things to protect yourself, they will call in the blood of Jesus. So it's like that. So security has been an age-long thing. It has been from the day of creation even.
Wow. Yeah, you've given us insights on how to keep our homes secured. How do we keep our workspace, secured, and our business centers?
The first thing is that the business owner, in the course of recruitment, has to emphasize on background checks of workers. It's very, very important. In security parlance, we call it vetting inquiry. Periodical checks it's not a one-off thing. You do it periodically. Check the background of because a worker might be employed today, it might be of good character as at the time of employment and later turn into another thing. So it's important that you carry out those things on your workers. And then in the course of the working relationship, you try as much as possible to have a means of gauging their satisfaction. Who is that worker that is no longer pleased with the working environment, with the working condition, and all this? If you have those information, you can quickly nip it in the bud before the person will turn hostile agent against your establishment. And he can decide to keep the job and become saboteur. And sabotage is of various types. It can be sabotage by fire. You see, all these fire incidents that we talk about sometimes that will occur, it could be most of these can be traced to the workers. You don't need to bring a matchstick to come and do it. It's just especially those that are in the engineering, that have engineering knowledge of what have you. They know what to put together that will delay until even after everybody might have left, before it will be ignited, and then the whole place is consumed in this. Then you have to put safety measure in place in your establishment when you are right from the beginning. All these safety measures they are very, very important against fire incident, against water, against all this. And then at the close of work, the other one that we talked about the other time, the security guard must be able to check around for which of the doors were not closed. Because some workers now, when they become hostile, they deliberately leave doors open so that they can come back later, or whoever is their agent can come back and have free access. So there must be a time limit to which the worker can come back. And if they want to come back, it must be registered as so person was here and for so reason. So all these things are very, very important. And then we have what we call surveillance. There are many types of surveillance. We have the mobile surveillance, the technical surveillance, and physical surveillance. Nowadays, technical surveillance is very, very important for any establishment. That is, you place secret cameras all over the place, so that, and you can even make your workers know that this place is under surveillance. It's part of it. You might not make it secret sometimes. You let them know that you are being watched for everything that you are doing here, so that it will curtail or limit whatever evil intention that they might want to carry out. They will know that it's very difficult, that they are being monitored. So all these things are very, very important. But you see, in this part of the world, except for the recent time now that we are, catching up with technical surveillance, before we don't give any importance to it. And it facilitates investigation into anything. You see, if there is any untoward incident, it can be very easy to investigate through technical surveillance. Just assess the thing, there you get all the information that it happened at social time, this is what happened, this is what happened. So it's really helping. And the prices now, they are coming down. It's almost available everywhere.
Okay.
So I would advise that people should emphasize on technical surveillance, in addition to physical surveillance. Yeah. For
a mama that sells at the roadside, how does she secure herself? How does she secure her goods?
Before today, our forefathers, they have their own way of security, or provision of security for themselves. They have security sense. They are not just dullards now. And everybody is born with halter of security sense, no matter how little. Whether for yourself, even the worst of dunces will know that, okay, if I do this, it will do this. So they have their own way. We are not saying that such people, and don't underrate them sometimes. Most of them knows better than you think they know. And they are always good source of information. Those local people that you are saying. Some of them, they are conscious agents. Some of them are unconscious agents. They are giving you information when they don't even know that they are giving you information, or the value of information that they are giving you. Some of them, they are aware that you need this information, and some of them are doing it for monetary gains or whatever you are doing for them. But they are always very good source of information, security information. They have information more than the elite. These local people want information, but if you don't train them or you don't know how to tap them, you might be having difficulty. That is their own. But the elite, if it's giving you information, is aware on the information that is giving you and the usefulness. But in their own case, they might not be aware of the usefulness on the information they are giving you. But sometimes, even when they are aware, they charge less, or they don't even expect anything from you. So, but we kind of underrate them sometimes. But they are encyclopedia of information. And when you have information, you are powerful.
Yes.
Information, when it is processed, it becomes intelligence. And if you share it without delay, it becomes useful for the country or for the person that is sharing it, or to everybody.
So looking at the state at which insecurity has bedeviled this nation, what advice would you at this point in time give government at all levels? What should they put in place to stop the excesses of banditry, kidnappers? We're joking here before we came that if you tell me that today we are going to Abuja by road, I would say, let's go by air. Because there's that panic there. By road, anything can happen. But obviously, we're still safe via air. What can we say government at all levels should do, looking at the security aspect of things now?
Anyway, first and foremost, let me try a little bit to separate general insecurity
and
from repressal attacks that we're having in some cases, and when people will quickly jump to the conclusion that, oh, it is general insecurity. For example, now, it is becoming fashionable now that our politician and everybody is competing on bulletproof purchase. Every one of them is buying bulletproof now, because bulletproof has just saved maybe 1 or 2, 3 of them.
Yeah.
And those ones, if you ask them now, they want to blame it on general insecurity in the country. No. One thing always leads to another. Sometimes repressal attacks, people will give it the coloration of insecurity. You see, like I said, one thing always leads to another. What happened that made a particular person become target of attack? We don't always look into that. The next thing is we start crying and condemning the government that, oh, this is... Some people, they are living such a terrible life that they have done things, like Jim Reeves said in one of his albums, I have done many things that I shouldn't do. They have done things that are so terrible, and to such that some people that are recipients of their actions are after their lives. That one happens all over the world. It's not common to Nigeria alone. So we should not allow them to deceive us. When they suffer repressal attacks, to deceive us that it is government that has not... Thousands of vehicles have passed through that same road on that day, and nobody has attacked them. And it was when your own convoy came now that they started raining bullets. My pity is for the police, that they have been wasting their life.
Nice.
I pity the police at this time, especially those ones that are on escort duties. But at the same time, I will still blame the top hierarchy of the police for the way they give out their men to these people only for their lives to be wasted. If you come to me as security manager, you want me to give you men to provide you with security, this thing. One, what about the skill? Are my men skilled enough to do what you are requesting for? That one is very important. Training. The police need to emphasize on training of the men that they are posting on such assignment. Then, the person that is asking for security, he has the money to purchase a bulletproof car for himself. And the least amount you can get for, that you can pay for a bulletproof vehicle is about 110 million naira upward. So he asks for himself. It is not out of place the police will ask him that you will provide another bulletproof vehicle for our men too. Because, okay, this is you now. You are wearing bulletproof jacket. You are sitting inside a bulletproof car, and you say those men that are sitting in one rickety car that you provided as their own car are the ones that are protecting. Who is protecting who between the two parties? Somebody wearing bulletproof jacket inside bulletproof car is relying on people that are wearing the ordinary shirt that you and I are wearing now for his protection. And to worsen it now, these same men, about 5 or 6 of them, will be crammed, jam-packed in one vehicle and carrying long weapon that's about 4 or 5 feet in length. So even if they want to defend at the first gunshot, to fire even from the car will be very difficult because they are 5 and they are carrying long rifle inside one car. And how many of their drivers, the ones driving the pilot car or the escort car, how many of them are trained security drivers? How many of them have the anticipatory sense? sense of driving, to know that we are being followed, we are being monitored, to identify routes and everything. You see, if we go into this one, one may probably fall sick about the security element of this country. These same policemen, you are living in Lagos, because you are the principal, you want to go to Kano tomorrow, you will tell them to hit the road today and pick you at the airport tomorrow morning. So you will fly in tomorrow. These men travel by road. They will still be the one that will be following you around in Kano. And when you are leaving Kano now to come back to Lagos, you tell them to hit the road 24 hours ahead again. The same men will come back to Lagos and pick you at the airport. And then you want to go to your village in Ikere, these same men will still be the ones that will go with you. That is why you see them. Most of the time when you see these police escort, you see that the only person that is not sleeping in that vehicle is the driver. Because they are worn out. They are stressed. They have been overused. So the attacks, when it's even coming, it always comes to them in some cases when they were even napping in the vehicle. So they take them by surprise. And what about the arbitrary use of siren? The siren that you think is clearing the way for you here is the one that will announce your arrival to these criminals that you are coming now. And the siren thing has become a status quo now. Almost everybody has siren fitted to their vehicle now, that they blow around anyhow, disturbing the peace of the people. And who is even giving them approval, we don't know. And it is that same siren that will put them in trouble when they travel on the road sometimes. So, and then the police on one side, they will say, you won't even know whether they are escort or pilot. There's that confusion sometimes. When you say you are escort and you are the one that is leading the convoy, that means you are a pilot car. And you see that in some cases, they have even lost their principal in traffic. Because they are doing the work of pilot. They are not doing the work of escort. So there's this mix-up in everything. So there should be a lot of training. The police will have to intensify its training, and the police have to be professionally arrogant. It is not every job that comes to them that they should take. And to our people now that are rushing to go and buy bulletproof car, 200 million naira, you see, the best form of bulletproof is the one that humans form for you. Human shield. When your people love you, and after all, you're not going to sleep 24 hours inside this bulletproof car that you went to purchase with 200 million. Think what 200 million naira can do to your people. They will protect you. They won't want anything to harm you. But where is the correction now? Everybody's buying bulletproof cars now. Like hot cake. In the whole of this world, about 110,000 bulletproof vehicles are in this in circulation. Highest number is in Nigeria now. Out of that 110,000, Nigeria has the highest number now.
Wow.
So, for how long are we going to do that? Why not let us go back to the root cause of these problems? Most of these things are reprisal attack, like I told you. People have done so many things that is wrong, and then they are hiding under the cover of insecurity, general insecurity in the land. So we have to look holistically at these whole problems. Where is the problem coming from? Before now, why is it that we don't have record of this kind of attacks? Why is it on the surge now? We need to look at that. Every one of us cannot drive bulletproof cars now.
Exactly. Before we go, let's quickly talk about cybersecurity. How can we prevent a gadget?
It depends on the kind of gadget that you want to.
Our phones majorly, and laptops. Your phone, my phone. You see, the white. Let me put it that way. They are blessed. They are gifted in making these devices. We are blessed in neutralizing even what the makers didn't know that exists in their gadgets, they will do it. I have a grandson. I don't know how you can lock your phone that he will not open it. Whoa.
A 3-year-old boy. He has that gift. He will just pick it. he will first of all ask you to tell him his PIN, your PIN. If you say, no, okay, I'll open it. He will just be fidgeting with the phone and he will unlock the phone. So that is this generation for you. We don't have the gift of making it, but we have the gift of neutralizing it. But however, having said that, there are some things that we too can do that is outside the conventional thing to protect our gadgets. I think you understand. Some people, I don't know the level of trust that I will have or whatever may happen to me that I will give you my ATM card, say go and collect money on my behalf from my ATM. And it happens. You see some people, they come to the ATM, they will be phoning. So person, which means he's using another person's ATM to collect money to go and give that person. Today, there might not be money in your account. What about tomorrow? Okay, yesterday I was in the bank. I forgot one of my ATM's PIN. So I went to the bank to say I wanted another card. But I explained to them that I have a card, but I have forgotten the. Then the man told me that I should be able to do that at the ATM point. I said, no, I think I will have to collect it. He said, let's go outside. So that we'll go and do it. We got outside. He asked me to press 0 4 times, which I did. And he said, one information will come to my phone now. And the information came, as I did that, the phone that I was using to receive alert. And the information came that I should press so 6 digits again. On the distance, I pressed another 6 digits. He said I should press new number that I want to be using for the card. And I did, and the card is working. So what somebody needs to do is steal my phone, steal my ATM card, go there, press 40, receive this information, do this, and clear the whole money in the account. Wow. Change my PIN. Then I said, all these are not safe. It's as easy as this. It didn't last 5 minutes. Absolutely. That was my experience yesterday. So cybercrime, we will continue to have it. I don't know how we are not going to have it. Insofar we continue to have all this technological development, we'll continue to have it, but to some extent it can be reduced. Just like security that we were talking about before, you can't have perfect security arrangements. You can only have a safe and free atmosphere. So it's the same thing with cybercrime. As long as we use all these things, we continue to have it.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
We'd like to say a big thank you to our security expert, Mr. Akin Adeyi. Thank you for this impactful knowledge. I'm going to try that 000 because I need to keep my ATM.
It works like magic.
Seriously, just like that. Thank you sincerely for joining us, and thank you for your expert opinion you've shared with us this morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's about that time. We'll be gone for today. God willing, we'll be back again next week, Saturday, on another edition of Spring Delight from Western Spring Television. Tunde is my name.
And online Carly is my name. Have a beautiful Saturday.